Hello, welcome to the first homework demonstration video. These are designed to give you an idea of what you're expected to do with the homework. All I do is pick out a few of the problems at random and work my way through them with this presentation, narrate my thinking. Hopefully you find it useful. Remember, as always, if you run into any problems or doesn't make any sense, you'd like to get some help, there's always that homework forum. Remember, practice every day if you can. That's the only way for you to remember and to be able to do all of the things that you need to do. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to do three different things on this one. We're going to do an identify the forms, we're going to take a look at counterexamples, and we're also going to see about identifying some arguments. So I've just picked a few examples out of the homework randomly. So here's homework problem number 6 on identifying the forms. So we've got either Jones is an innocent bystander or Jones fired a shot at the mayor. Jones is not an innocent bystander. Therefore, Jones fired a shot at the mayor. All right, what to say about this one? Well, we notice there's a couple elements here that are repeated. We've got this one, Jones is a bystander. Right, that seems to be an element, so let's highlight that one. And then also, Jones fired a shot at the mayor. This also seems to be some kind of shared element, so let's go ahead and highlight that one too. Okay, so now it looks like we've got a structure here. So we've got either, we'll say like A or B. A is, so it looks like A is not true, right? Jones is not innocent, right? So not A, so therefore B. Or we could pick any letters we wanted to. So here you go, right? Either A or B, not A, so therefore B. Not too bad. Now, obviously, when you're filling out the homework, you won't need to highlight it. I'm just doing that so you can visually see what's going on. All right, let's try another one. Let's try a counterexample here. This is homework problem number 9. So kidnapping is wrong if society disapproves of it. Kidnapping is wrong, so society disapproves of kidnapping. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We notice we've got a few elements here in common. So kidnapping is wrong, right? We see that one a couple times. And then we've got society disapproves of kidnapping, right? That's a couple times. So what I went ahead and did here was translated this as if society disapproves of kidnapping, then kidnapping is wrong. Right? So usually the if introduces the first part of the if-then statement. So in English, sometimes, they say if such and such, then such and such, or sometimes instead they'll reverse the order and they'll say, that there'll be a then that's understood here. And then then kidnapping is wrong if society disapproves of it. So if society disapproves of kidnapping, we'll call that S, then K, kidnapping is wrong. And then kidnapping is wrong. There we go. So therefore, S, society disapproves of it. So this is the argument form. Now the question here is this form valid? So for it to be valid, remember, that would mean that there would be no situations for this form right here where you could have true premises and a false conclusion. It would be impossible if it was valid. If it's a valid form, that would never happen, no matter what the values of S and K are, no matter what statements those refer to. As long as you follow this form, and it's a valid form, then if the premises are true, the conclusion has to be true too. Well, okay, is this one valid? One way to test it, a really direct way to test it, would be to substitute other values for S and K and see if we could substitute values to where we would get a true premises with a false conclusion following from it. And if you can show that, if you can show true premises and a false conclusion, then we would know that this form is invalid. And it's always invalid. We wouldn't be making it invalid by doing this. We would just be showing that it's invalid, demonstrating that it's invalid. So I kind of goofed around with one. Here's the one that I came up with. So we're going to make S, instead of S being society disapproves of kidnapping, whatever. I changed it to S is, I have spent all my money on dog treats. And so then K, I have no money. All right, so let's take a look at the premises then. So if I have spent all my money on dog treats, then I have no money, right? And that would be true, right? If you spent all your money on dog treats, then you wouldn't have any money. Any money you had would have spent it on the dog treats. All right, so then our second premise, I have no money. That's also true. Well, I mean, technically, I think with a mortgage and everything else, I'm still in the negative numbers on that. But well, yeah, so I have no money. So therefore, I spent all my money on dog treats. That's what I apparently, no, that's false. I did not spend all my, I don't even have a dog, right? So we have a true premise. If I spend all my money on dog treats, then I would have no money. That's true. And second premise, I have no money. That's true too. So then therefore, I spent all my money on dog treats. That's false. So you have true premises and a false conclusion. And so you would demonstrate that that argument cannot possibly be valid. So all you would have to do is come up with any set of statements that would correspond to your S and K to where you would make true premises and a false conclusion. There'd be all sorts of things that you could do here. So this is just mine. Obviously, with the counterexamples and the homework, what you do is going to be creative and based on your own imagination. And so all of these would be different. It's not like there's one right answer. If you come up with a counterexample that demonstrates that the argument is invalid, that's all you need. All right, let's start identifying a couple arguments here. So I picked, again, at random, homework problems 10 and 15. So number 10, wars occur because humans desire to control other humans. So is this an argument? Well, for it to be an argument, you would have to be trying to establish the conclusion by means of using the premises. So what would be the conclusion here? What would be the premises? I mean, maybe wars occur would be the conclusion in this case. If this was an argument, and then because, right, this would signal, all right, here's a premise, humans desire to control other humans. That just, this doesn't look like an argument. There's nothing shared between your conclusion, wars occur, and then humans desire to control other humans. Like how, this doesn't look like an argument, right? It's not that we're saying, okay, wars occur. Now that's very controversial. We're going to need some proof for that. It's like, no, you don't need proof for that. Like the evidence is everywhere. You just go look around. So obviously it can't be establishing the fact that wars occur on account of humans desiring to control other humans. This is trying to explain what we already believe, which is that wars occur. So instead, this isn't an argument. This is just an explanation. We're not trying to establish something like wars occur. We're trying to say why it occurs. We're not trying to show that it's true that wars occur. We're trying to explain the deeper meaning behind it. So that makes it an explanation, not an argument. All right, for this next one, for number 15, not all tyrants avoid prosecution because Hosni Mubarak was tried by his fellow Egyptians. A little historical piece for you there. Not all tyrants avoid persecution because, and here we go. So is this one an argument? And I think this one is. So you've got not all tyrants avoid prosecution, and then are we trying to explain the deeper meaning by that or give the cause for how that happened or something? No, what we're doing is we're trying to establish that it's true. Right? Not all tyrants avoid persecution. Is it true or false? Here's why I think it's true. Hosni Mubarak was tried by his fellow Egyptians. So the implied premise here is that Hosni Mubarak was a tyrant, and he was tried. He was prosecuted by his fellow Egyptians. He didn't die in combat or was the victim of an assassination or something. No, he had a trial. There was a courtroom and witnesses were called and he was sentenced and so on. So if Hosni Mubarak was a tyrant and he was tried by his fellow Egyptians, that would disprove the idea that all tyrants avoid prosecution. It would show that it's not all tyrants avoid prosecution. So this premise establishes the truth of this conclusion. So that would make this an argument. Now, some of these are kind of tricky. If you get stuck, remember to use the homework forum. Your fellow students can help you get unstuck, perhaps. Plus, your instructor can jump in and clarify things for you. All right. Good luck. See you guys next week.